Have you ever had a near-death experience? Or perhaps someone you know may have had a near-death experience? Well, if so, we would love to hear your story and have you as a guest on our podcast. For more information, visit NDE.world. Again, that's NDE.world. We would love to hear your story.
Welcome to the NDE World Podcast, where we explore the magical, mystical, and spiritual world of near-death experiences. And now, Ashton Lewis and Daphne Lynn.
Welcome back to the NDE World Podcast. I am your host, Ashton Lewis, and my lovely hostess, Miss Daphne Lynn. How are you, Miss Daphne?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. I sit here and enjoy my time with you and doing this podcast and everything. And I glance out this open window here and the beauty that's out there today. Cool and crisp, and the sun is shining so brightly. It just makes me want to get out there in it and enjoy the day outdoors. It is so gorgeous out there.
Kind of its own heaven in its own.
It is.
Right, I guess,
yes,
in a sense.
Heaven and hell both are right here on earth.
You're thinking. Look at you thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, we welcome all to the NDE World Podcast. Those of you who are new, welcome. And those who have returned, we welcome you back. We have a special episode for you guys today, and it really ties in with the concept of you being psychic, okay?
Some people be like, what?
What?
You done lost your mind. Satan got you. Oh my God. Get away from
Devil's
that.
got
You're going
you.
to burn.
Yeah, so what we have to do is we have to understand, and we're going to get more into it here on the episode, but just and it was brought to my attention here recently, that, hey, you're psychic, that we all are psychic. And of course, I've got that Christian upbringing, so
you got a little bit of resistance there.
I do, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, and many people do. You'll feel that kind of, because it's something that I don't understand or really have been introduced to. Just to be honest with you, all I know is my Christian upbringing and what they told
religious
me
indoctrination.
Yes, indoctrination stations, and I was, indoctrinated, but with a good intention. I went in and studying scripture and all, and just,
Right.
I wanted to be a part of it because I was, like all of us, was seeking my higher self and my spiritual walk, my spiritual way.
Yeah.
And so it's part of made me who I am today, and I have nothing bad to say about any religion or any of my upbringing as far as, the churches or the belief systems or, any of it. It all has its role to play in all of us as we grow.
Right. If it is the path that you so choose to be good to others, to be kind and loving, then by all means, yes, please, we bless you in your travels, in your journey in doing that. Continue on with it. But there are others out there that have gone beyond the religion and from a different aspect and understanding of what role religion plays in everything. And that is what our topic is on today, is the true meaning of what psychic is.
Right. And I am a very, very big believer and firm advocate of personal research and really looking into it in personal prayer and meditating on these things to really make sense of it. I was spoon-fed when I was a child, just
Till
like
you learn
you
to do
guys
your
are,
own?
and until I learned how to eat on my own. In the same way, spiritually, spoon-feed as a child. Let people teach you. Get it from wherever you can, and it will resonate with you in your spirit. If you are truly seeking higher spirituality, your spirit will guide you. Just
Right.
be tuned into it, and it's ongoing. It's a beautiful thing once you really
something that you
start getting into it and realizing that, whoa, there are stepping stones and there are different ways to get to where you got to get. But whatever, like we had mentioned earlier, whatever is a truth today may not be a truth for you tomorrow. So all of us grow.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Don't, just because you have a little bit of knowledge of something, okay, this is all I need. I don't need anything else. Continue to grow. I mean, you want to take it to Scripture, continue seeking, continue knocking.
Keep knocking,
on doing
keep searching,
these
keep
things.
seeking, yes.
Yeah, don't just get to a point and say, oh, I'm good. I don't have to do anything else. Continue
so many
to
people
grow.
do.
And that's how people get stagnant.
Yeah.
And when I was in religion, that's what I was. I was stagnant no matter where I went, which church I went to, which denomination I went to. I was stagnant. Now, oh my gosh, I feel alive. I'm growing on a daily basis. The knowledge is out there. We just have to continually knock and seek to find.
Yeah.
And if you're doing these things and really meditating, praying, seeking that higher source, God, if you want to call it God, those things will be found by you when you search for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you also hear a lot of people say, oh, I just have to believe. That's all I got to do. I just got to believe, more specifically Christianity. I just have to, all you got to do is just believe. Just believe in the Lord Jesus and you shall be saved.
Think about this. In all his healings, how many times did he say, by your faith you are healed?
Absolutely. So
because you believe you are healed.
Yes.
You're healing yourself.
Your
and we look over these things as baby Christians.
Right.
You look over it, oh, wow, okay. He just healed me. No, he didn't. Your faith healed you.
Right, which is going to really tie in beautifully with today's topic. You are a psychic, okay?
Yes.
So we have to understand the power of the you, your mind, your, like we just said, faith and believe, okay? So let's take a step back. Now, faith and belief or believe are both the same word.
Right.
I don't know if a lot of people know that. They both mean the same thing. They come from the Greek root word pistis. And for faith, that's is pistis as well. In other words, belief is pistis in Greek, and faith is pistis, but also could be pisteuo. Now, both terms are closely related. They share the same logistic origin, which is important for understanding their similarities and their differences, you know. So when you're talking about belief and faith, similarities are that belief and faith trace their etymology roots back to the Greek word pistis. So they're both the same word, indicating trust, confidence, and reliance. Okay? Now, as a more or less cognitive component, both concepts involve a cognitive element as they pertain to mental acceptance or conviction in something without necessarily requiring empirical evidence. And for those of you who don't know what empirical evidence is, and that's what the scientific world is pretty much built on. In other words, I have to see it, I have to feel it, it has to be proven, there has to be proof of doing this. It's empirical. It has to be, touched and felt in order for me to even believe it. So they don't really grasp a lot of the spiritual world, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. It does.
And there's also like the subjective nature, like belief and faith are also subjective experiences. Now they're based on personal perceptions, experiences, and interpretations as well. They involve an individual's internalized understanding rather than universally verifiable facts.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people want the facts. They want proof of this. They want proof of that. Search for it. Dig for it. Don't just take somebody's word that this is what it is. Do your own research.
Well, and faith, from what I understand, the real true meaning of faith is like standing on your floor. You have faith that floor is not going to give out underneath you. That's a faith. It's a knowing. Whereas today, people use faith as a believing. Do you really know about what you really believe?
Blind faith at that.
There's a blind faith involved,
Yeah.
Now,
because we know the floor we walk on in our homes and the ground is stationary. It's there. It's not going anywhere.
Faith.
That's faith.
It's a knowing.
It's going to support you.
Yeah. A lot of people use faith as something to believe into something that you don't really see or even know it's there. You just got to have faith. No, just know. Well, no.
Right.
That's not the real true meaning of what faith means. Now, there are some differences as well. Belief can encompass a wide range of convictions, opinions, or acceptance of propositions. It can also relate to both religious and non-religious contexts. Now, faith can have more or less broader applications, but it usually is often carries a more specific connotation of trust and devotion, and it's usually more or less in a religious or a spiritual context. Now, faith often involves a deep commitment to a set of principles or higher power as well.
And that higher power is within each one of us too. I mean, there's so many people out there that have put that externally when within Scripture it talks about being within many times. So we have to really know that and keep seeking for that higher power, that higher knowledge is contained within yourself. It's not external so much as it is internal.
So now the reason why we bring up belief and things like that is to show you the power of your mind. Okay? And like Daphne had mentioned earlier, where, Yeshua, when you look at the stories in the accounts, all of them, if not most, or most if not all, should I say, it's not a matter so much of him doing it. He's doing it and he knows how to do it, but it has to do with the actual person's faith or their belief in the healing. If you read the accounts, like you mentioned earlier, he said, well, let it be healed according to your faith, or let it be done to you according to your faith.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you have faith. What did he say himself? If you have faith the size of a what?
Mustard seed.
Mustard seed. You can move mountains. So what is that faith? Or that belief?
Belief.
Yeah.
Belief. You believe the words or you don't believe the words. And I like to take this a step farther and say, does it resonate with you? It rings true? Or it does not resonate with you and it's just like, I don't know if I believe that or not. It's going to let you know that is your intuition, your psychic abilities letting you know these things. And what resonates today is going to continue to resonate. And if it doesn't resonate today, then guess what? It's not time for it to resonate. It will come when it is supposed to. What is true today is going to be a higher truth tomorrow.
Yeah, and to go with that, your beliefs today can, and most of the times will, change tomorrow. Exactly, there are things you may believe today that you didn't believe yesterday, and there are things that, you may not believe today, but tomorrow you may be a firm believer. You just don't know what's going to happen between now and then. That's going to take you to a whole different level of understanding.
Exactly. And that is such beauty to me, because you want to continually to grow and be enlightened and, share that with others. When you have this knowledge, you want to let that light out. Don't hold it in. Don't contain it. Let it go. Just share it with others.
Well, let's go ahead and start kind of combining the belief and faith with today's topic as far as you are psychic and what does it mean to be psychic and things like that. Now, let's start back from the basics, okay? Let's look at the original Greek word for psychic, technically where all these terms come from. Now, the term psychic actually has its origins in the Greek word psychikos, which is derived from psyche, meaning, okay, you guys with me here? It means soul or mind. And what is the soul or mind? It is you. So you are
that.
Psyche. You're a psychic.
Yes.
Okay. So in the truest sense, if we all are source, and we're going to get deeper into this. Daphne's got some really good stuff she's going to be sharing with us today. But you really start getting into it and really just really opening up your heart, your mind, and your, throw away these bricks that you're built up around you with your belief system and blocking everything else out because you grew up a certain way, believing this and that. Just, start throwing these bricks away. They're not serving any purpose, and start expanding your mind. Because we really need to get, if you want to know what a psychic is, when we say you are a psychic, well, it makes sense to understand what a psychic is. So a psychic is, it's based on the word psyche, like we had just mentioned. The psyche is simply your soul or your mind. Let me read a little bit more here. It says that the original meaning of psychic is closely tied to the concept of the mind, soul, or mental processes. Over time, the term has evolved. Let me repeat.
That's where we're at today.
Yes, so that's why we have so much misconception and misunderstanding on what psychic is and how we can say that you are psychic. Stick with us now. Stick with us. Like we said, over time, the term has evolved, and in modern usage, it's commonly associated with phenomena that, go beyond the conventional understanding of the mind, often referring to paranormal or extrasensory abilities. In this chat GPT here, it's got 4 short, quick breakdowns. Number 1, the psyche, the word psyche in Greek refers to the soul, mind, or spirit. So when we talk about the psyche, and anything that's based on or built on psyche, like psychology, psychosis, psychiatrists, these are all mental or spiritual or the soul or spirit, okay? People think mental is physical, like because it's part of the brain, but we don't have no clue if it is not. 'Cause mental is more or less probably spiritual, if I had my guess. So we got the soul, the mind, or spirit. Now, it has a rich history in Greek philosophy and mythology, often associated with the seat of consciousness, emotions, and thought. Number 2, psychikos, we talked about earlier, is an adjective derived from psyche, and it is translated to mean pertaining to the soul or related to the mind. In its original sense, it was used to describe things connected to the human mind or mental processes. Number 3, the evolution of the term. Over time, especially in the late 19th and 20th centuries, the term psychic began to be associated with the phenomena that seemed to involve non-physical or paranormal aspects of the mind. This includes extrasensory perception, aka the ESP, also telepathy, clairvoyance, and the other phenomena that go beyond conventional scientific understanding. There goes your scientific thing getting in the way again. Mm-hmm. And number 4, the modern usage. Okay, this is where we're at today. In today's usage, in contemporary usage, the word psychic is commonly used to describe individuals who claim to have paranormal or supernatural abilities, such as the ability to perceive information beyond the ordinary human senses. This can include practices like psychic readings, where individuals claim to gain insights into a person's past, present, or future through extrasensory means. And the little closing paragraph, and it's a really good thing to consider, it says that it's important to note that the term psychic can have different connotations depending on the context. Okay, always remember that. Now, in psychology, for example, it may refer to mental processes and phenomena related to the mind. In the realm of the paranormal, however, it often refers to experiences or abilities that are not easily explained by conventional scientific principles. The interpretation of the term can vary, and it's essential to consider the context in which it is used. Okay, so with that thought in mind, what are your first comments on that, Daphne? And then we're going to start breaking it down and start tying it together, because the word psychic, or psyche, means soul, and if we all are souls and we all are souls, if we all are one, would it not reason to say that you also and myself are psychic?
Everyone is.
Psychic, Daphne, not psycho. I'm asking. Aren't we? We're all... No, all jokes aside. I mean, really think about that.
Exactly.
Would it not make sense? And what I think it is, I think it's something that all of us, but it's like exercising. It's something you have to work at. It's something you have to, you meditate on, work at, pray on, and, just keep disciplining yourself on whatever it takes to develop your psychic abilities and really get an understanding of what psychic means. Because, coming from a Christian background, I grew up that, psychics and mediums and all this is devil and this is demonic. These are demons filtering through these people and, and things like this.
That's what religion does.
And trust me, I was hit hard with that. So
Me too. Mm-hmm.
It's something I even have to work on even with myself, and I'm still growing, and we all are. So I think it has to come down to really understanding, well, what is psychic and what is psyche and things like that. Well, if anything pertaining to the soul is psyche or psychic, then if we are all soulful spiritual creatures, then we are all psychic. However, some are way more developed and more, psychic than others, just like anything and everything else in life.
Right. And that ties in with these NDEers come back talking about how within each of us, these abilities lie within us.
Right.
Each one of us carry these abilities, but through our walks of life, our indoctrinations, whatever, we suppress these things. Just like these guitars sitting right here on the wall in the studio are yours, that you have trained many, many, many years to play and know how to use it. Mm-hmm. It's the same with your instinct, your intuition, your psychic abilities, your gut
Any
instinct.
ability is an ability. You have to work that spiritual muscles.
You have to train. You have to use it for it to get better and better.
It's like you train physically for things.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to use it. If you don't use it, most people walking around don't even listen to their gut instinct about things. We call you got a red flag go up about something, hey, that is your intuition. That is your gut. That is your psychic abilities. use them, define them, just like defining the use of that guitar. Whether it's cycling or painting or whatever you do to train for hobbies or whatever you do in your life, you have to train to do it.
Yeah, you have to work
and you
at being
enjoy doing
good at
it.
things.
So that it's the same with your psychic, your intuition abilities. And we all have that. And we are that. According to all of these NDEers, we all are God, and we all contain that ability within us.
Soul and spirit.
Soul and spirit.
So that means that somebody out there is no more special than anybody else. If there are these people out there who claim psychic abilities, and a lot of them are legit. Some of them are kind of like shady. So we're going to kind of touch base on that as well here in a second with a couple of examples as well. But the thing is, when it comes to true reality, is that if you all are psychic, you all are. Then there's nobody any better there, or wow, there's something because they're a psychic. No, they're just more tuned into their psychic abilities. They're more spiritual beings in that regard. And I'm sure if you talk to them and ask them, they will tell you the same thing, that this is something we all have, but it's going to have to be something either you're going to have to work at, develop. You may go through an experience that might, zap it into you all of a sudden, and then you can grasp it. We hear accounts like that as well. So
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was going to say, is there are those out there that do not give the positive message. They lean more toward the dark side of it. And that's what the church has pushed for a lot of people, of what psychic is. But that is not what it was originated. We are light loving beings from birth.
And that light is in all of us.
Exactly. So we have to share a positive message. And those that share the positive message are of the light. If you're sharing a dark message and cursing others, that is not going to be good for that soul on the other side.
No.
Because they're going to have to go through, and your psychic abilities are supposed to be to encourage and help and love others, not to condemn or hurt someone on a physical level, on a spiritual level. It is for growth and helping others.
Not for going on the dark side.
Exactly. Because, there is the dark side of it, but you being of the light should know that the dark is not allowed in the light.
Absolutely. So you have to be careful about those who are making the claims as being psychic, because you are psychic. It's something you're going to have to develop. But let's say, for example, if you're dealing with someone who claims or makes this claim, how would you know whether or not you're dealing with someone who is for real, or if you're dealing with somebody who may be kind of just making a claim, but they're really just kind of blowing smoke, if you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In fact, you mentioned earlier about an example about a friend of yours, if you don't mind sharing that.
Yes,
Was you going to comment first and then tell us her story, if you don't mind?
So a friend of mine was having dealings with a supposed shaman, and we know shamans are supposed to be of the higher loving light.
Highly spiritually evolved beings.
Right. Okay, so, and in her dealings with this person, she said it was going really good for a while, and, they exchanged phone numbers and was talking, emailing back and forth. So, at some point, the person was wanting more money than what my friend could give, and she's like, well, I can't do that. I can do this. I can't do anything more than this. And the shaman was saying, well, I've done this for you and that and that and that. And she said, if you don't give me this money, I'm going to put a curse on you. That, when my friend told me that, oh my God, my gut clenched up. My intuition was like, I told my friend immediately, I said, block that person. Do not have any more contact with that person, because if you're of the love and light, you're going to bless others. And that's what a shaman's supposed to be, of the love and light, sharing spiritual blessings with others. And that hurt my friend. And that's what many of these mediums come across talking about, is being helpful and loving to clear things up with other people here. Don't hurt another soul. And that person was having an effect on my friend, and she was being very negative. about just many
So
different
your
things.
friend was.
My friend was, because of her belief in that.
Her belief,
and once
which ties in with what, today's
the
topic,
psychic,
of course. Yeah.
So I finally convinced her, block this person, have no more dealings with her, emails, everything. Block this person out of your life, have no more dealings with her. And once she did that, and I started talking to her about, being the light and being a higher vibration, more positive, her whole demeanor changed in just a matter of a couple of weeks. So that woman that was supposed to be the shaman was actually having an effect vibratorily on my friend because of her own belief in that woman's abilities.
Key. That's the key right there. And we're going to dig deeper into that.
Psyche.
Yeah, it had the effect on her because she believed it.
Right.
And that's what this is all about. If you believe that you have psychic abilities, if you believe that you are God, if you believe that you are source, if you believe that you can do anything if you put your mind to it, if you believe that, I got faith bigger than a mustard seed, if you believe, well then, to believe in that faith, then you're going to be able to accomplish a whole lot of things. Now,
right.
Speaking of your friend there, I don't want to get too far off subject, but I guess most people need to understand the difference between a shaman and a shyster.
Yeah.
But the point is,
even mediums and evidential mediums, because there are mediums out there that try to tune in more to their psychic abilities.
It's more of the light.
Loving, light, helpful. It's not going to be tearing you down, breaking you down, making you feel bad about anything or regret of anything. And that's what we have to realize is all of these abilities lie within ourselves because we are spirit. Our deceased, if we want to call it deceased, our transitioned loved ones are spirit. And our higher self is still in that spiritual realm. And we can connect with that.
Right.
And hear and learn and communicate with that spiritual side because we are spiritual. We get in the habit of saying, oh, well, we are only human. I'm this, I'm that. Well, stop lying to yourself because you are more than just human. You are spiritual. And that is that psychic. You are the psyche. You are the soul.
You have no clue just who you really are.
Right. We are so much more than what we have been indoctrinated and led to believe. We are not just this physical body. We're more than that. The story, a lot of people call this physical body the story, the veil. So we really have to stretch our beliefs beyond what we normally believe.
Absolutely. And always understand you're growing. And you're going to keep growing.
Exactly.
And nobody is all-knowing. You never will be until you get to the other side.
Not on this side, anyway. Yeah. A lot of NDEers, that's one of the things with the NDEers is
tie into that source.
They tie in and have that download. They know everything, from the creation of the world, So that is that just tying back in with source. And there's beauty in this that, we are all connected. We all have these abilities within us. And coming back to this side, that you lose that download. So we can have that.
Your brain can't hold it.
Huh?
Your brain can't process all that information.
Not on this side, yeah.
You can only contain what you can contain. You're not going to be able to contain those kind of secrets. You can go over there and get that information.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. Oh. So we're going to be wrapping up here shortly. Let's just kind of keep things within topic here. Now, I guess using your friend as an example, but this goes with all of us. Now, she was dealing with this person who was claiming was going to help her as long as she kept paying her, which that screams, if you got to pay anybody for any kind of stuff like that. These gifts, spiritual gifts are and they're supposed to be for the betterment of humanity. And they're not supposed to be made for business and profit, things like that. So I would say, number one, if they're wanting to charge you money, and yet all you guys out there who claim to be psychic, if you want to get upset, that's your problem. That concerned me. But from my understanding and my experience with this type of people and things like that, these are free gifts, and these people give you that information for free. But you have to respect them and their time and what they do. You don't take advantage of that kind of stuff, and they don't take advantage of you with wanting to charge you money and stuff like that. So that's right. You got to be careful with that. So she had this person claim that she was going to put a curse on her if she didn't pay her. So now, here's where we got called pointing the bone. All right. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with pointing the bone, I want to say it's an old Aborigines a custom where they would put a curse on people.
Right.
And whoever got the bone pointed at them, and whatever that curse was put on, and if that person believed,
Right.
that's the key. If that person believed, then that person would be cursed, and that person would, whatever the curse would be, if it was cursed to die. You had mentioned earlier somebody that she was going to get old fast or something, and she aged like in a year or something. I mean, share that story
Right.
real quick. But it
It's
ties back in with the actual, if you believe this. So that's my main point when we
Right.
opened up this episode with believing, and how this all ties in with
the
your own.
psychic ability.
Yeah.
And it's from the book that I'm reading right now, Heaven and Earth, from James Van Praagh. He's telling the story of a ladies had went to a convention or a get together or something, and there was a medium there telling different people different things about whatever. And this one lady went away with a kind of dark medium message, and she was supposed to get old really quick and have these health issues and everything. And
She started believing it.
Because she didn't know about mediums, she believed the woman. So within a year of that medium telling that lady that, she began to go gray-haired almost overnight.
Ooh.
And her health started going down. She started getting these wrinkles all over her.
All within a year.
All within a year because of her belief in it.
I was going to ask you think it's because of the
they
belief?
were friends. Yeah, they were. She was friends with James, and she said that they later found out that this person going around telling that was leaning more toward the dark side of the mediumship,
psychic abilities,
the
and
psychic
things.
abilities.
That's what we mentioned earlier.
And that's where we go. Take it back to your belief system. You have to really be on the good side. If you're doing things for the bad side, then
it will come back and get you.
It will come back and get you.
Both will come back. Not get you, but anything that you put out is going to come back. And let's leave on
Reap
that
what
thought.
you sow. Yeah.
Yeah, that of course the reaping and sowing, cause and effect.
Yeah, and tying it in with this is what I was going to say is, your faith has healed you. Your
Right.
faith has healed you.
Because
Let me say that one more time.
You believe it.
Exactly. Your faith has healed you. Yeshua's words repeated over and
The
over.
God in you.
The God within
You
you.
heal yourself.
Yes, sir. There you go.
You are psychic.
Yes. And
You
there's
have the
beauty
ability
in
to
that.
heal yourself and your soul and your spirit.
Yeah, and tune in to the world around you, the spiritual aspect of everything out here in this world. We are psychic because we're connected with all of that.
Absolutely.
We are soul. We are soul. We're psychic. Yes.
And we'll leave on this thought that, now that we have a better understanding of psychic, that psychic means it's just referring to your spirituality and your soul. It's not some kind of demonized, crazy devil person that's going to possess you and take over your. Religion.
It can go down that route. You can tune it in if you develop it more, if that's what you want to do with it.
But we need to understand and leave with this thought: every single thing you do, especially in the terms of in the realm of spirituality and things like that, especially like what we're talking about here, always, always, always do things with the right intention.
Yes, loving and light.
Do it with love. And always, the only rule in life, well, actually there's two. One, just be. We're human beings, okay? We're not human doings. We're human beings. Just be. That's the rule. Mm-hmm. And number two, harm no other soul, whether that be another human, whether that be any animals, whether that be Mother Earth and the trees and anything on this life. And that also includes you, because you are part of the all.
Exactly, yeah. Very well said, very well said.
Well, good deal. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up on this episode. Any final comments, Miss Daphne, before we go ahead and wrap up?
Yeah. Just, if you if this is resonating with you and you realize that you are your own psychic, you are soul, yes. So if you want to develop those intuitions, always remember that to have and search for the highest good for yourself, for others, the highest vibratory spiritual beings out there. Seek that and you'll be all right.
Absolutely, because everything you do, you're going to have to go back and relive it and deal with it again on the other side. So Put out the good, you get to feel the good. You put out the bad, You're going to
feel the bad, So yeah, just be the love, be the light.
Be the love, be the light.
That's right. Yeah.
Very good. And on that note, we love you all. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And may peace be with you all. Until next time.
Yeah, always let your light shine.
For information about the NDE World Podcast, visit NDE.world. That's NDE.world.